Yo, Britt. How's it going?
Hi,
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
You look great in your new kitchen.
This is the one room that's unpacked.
Okay, wait, you still haven't unpacked?
No, yeah, I'm unpacked.
All right. I like all your tchotchkes behind you.
Oh yeah, all of our magnets,
Yeah, where are they all from?
all the places we've traveled.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Very cool. How you feeling? Race week?
I'm ready.
Ready to go.
Yep.
Confidence is key here, Britt. Confidence is key.
Yep. I
All
still
right.
need to do my plan, but I have some questions.
Yeah, all right. So, well, hey, Doug, how's it going, bud?
Good. How you doing, Daniel?
All
Hey,
right,
Brittany.
man. All right.
Hey, Doug.
Hey.
All right, so Britt, why don't you, while we wait for other people to join, do you want to ask or do you want to keep this on a private forum?
No, I don't care. So my question is, for overall time, should I be shooting for a better time on this course or my best Ironman time overall?
Oh, that's a great question, right? So I usually compare course to course,
Okay.
and I usually actually also take out the swim. I usually just look at bike and run time because the swim is variable. On a course like this, it's less so you can probably compare overall time. But I would probably look at all racing for you in particular, knowing the races you've done and the fact that this is a pretty fair and fast course. But I wouldn't even look at it that way if you really want to go a step further.
Okay.
I'd look at where is my training at today, and what can my training support in terms of my racing. So like when you look at, oh, this is how I've been swimming, this is what I've been doing, I can probably do this or close to it. On the bike, I know right now I'm pushing 140 watts for 3 hours. I can probably push 140 to 150 for the race. I'm making the numbers up right now. And that usually yields a time of X. And you can get that by, if you really want, like I can tell you, it's pretty straightforward, or we can use best bike split like I sent over to you, and we can actually come up pretty close to what your time would be.
I think I just want you to tell me.
Okay, that's pretty nice. So good. Hey, Andy Potts, how's it going?
Kathy!
What's up, girl?
What's up? Sorry, I had to chase my dog.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good. She got out, ran down the street. Awesome.
Yeah, she was scared of those guns you're sporting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, Brittany, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, you and I will sit down and talk about it. No problem.
Okay.
So, Kathy, I was just letting Brittany and Doug ask some questions before a few more people join up, and then we kind of walk through the course. So did you have anything you thought of off the top of your head to start off with?
I have questions like about like my personal like numbers, like what I should try and hit for both the run and the bike. For both the run and the bike, but I mean, I've done the course before, so I don't have a whole lot of questions about the course.
All right, so we can talk about them today with everyone else, or you could just send me over like the plan that you were thinking about, and then we could talk about it. Like we'll get on the phone later too. Whatever you're more comfortable with.
All right.
Sound good?
Yeah.
I think, let's see, let's give everyone another. We'll go to 9:35, then we'll start up. Just who wants more of like a core strategy talk, or you guys just want to talk about your own person? You do, Doug? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there in a while, and I just winged it last time. So
Look at that guy.
Yeah, Sam is in the house.
Ponch, you're on mute, Ponch.
Yeah, this is my first Ironman, and I've never been on this course. It's my first full, anyways.
Okay, all right. We can help you out. No problem at all. All right, let's dive in then. All right. So first, race week, right, in Arizona. Anyone that's been there, the venue is actually awesome. Tempe is an awesome little town. It's easy to get around. They have electric scooters everywhere now, so like try not to walk if you don't have to. Like I rode one to the race on race morning. It was great. Whatever. In Arizona, there's really good swimming options over at ASU. There's a great pool. I think we're going to organize a swim or two for you guys while we're there. I will send something out this week, and then you could do the course swims as well, just to get used to the water. Haven't checked the water temperature lately. It's usually pretty chilly. So just get ready for that. No big deal though, in case you're asked about, but make sure you bring a wetsuit. You're going to need a wetsuit. The other thing on race morning, I would say, is make sure you stage yourself early and often in the place you want to be. If you're a fast swimmer, walk right up to the front, and there's actually a gate usually, and you could walk through the gate, and the top like 50 swimmers can go in there. And like Matt and I last year sat down in there on a table and bench and like hung out for like 45 minutes, or a couple of years ago, whenever that was. And like, it was great. It's great. So if you're fast, do that. And you're away from everyone else and all the blind nonsense. Although the swim start this year is in a different location. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So you really luck out. Yeah, he thinks you luck out too. You really luck out because you don't have the long run back to transition. It's a really short run. It's really nice. But you got to walk to the swim start. So just plan on that accordingly with your time. It's probably a good 8 to 10 minute walk down to the start. I'd say about that. I would bring some flip flops or shoes that you can just chuck and throw out, so you don't have to worry about like getting the stuff back. Get something cheap from like Walmart or something, whatever. So that's what I would say for that. When you talk about the swim, okay, in particular in this course, if you've never been there, there's giant walls on the side, okay? You're going to jump in and swim, I believe that's west, it's only like 50 to 100 yards, and then you immediately make a right-hand turn. Do you guys want me, do you have the course in front of you? You want me to pull it up?
I have the course.
All right, I can, let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. Yeah, I can pull it up. Okay, so let me share this. Okay, not the right
They
one.
also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but they switched the swim direction too, just
Yeah.
like last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. You start south, right?
Mhm.
Or west, and then it's about, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yep.
And it's like a 50, that's maybe 50 yards, maybe 100 yards right-hand turn, right? Then you have another right-hand turn, and then this is a long way down to the other side, okay? And what the things you have to realize about this course is the walls on the side, these walls here and here, they're not equidistant to the buoys. So if you're a left-hand side breather, normally you would use the wall to like sight, so you don't have to look forward and pick your head up, right? But the wall gets further and further away from the buoys at different points. It looks like it's even, it's not. So who breathes to the left here, typically when they race? Yeah, so Kathy, what I would do if I was racing, and I do this anyway, but I go around the first buoy, go around the second, and I immediately park myself inside the buoys on the right-hand side of them. And I would swim on the right-hand side the whole way, so I could just look up and see them as I go. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question about the buoys. I noticed, I mean, in the map, it shows that they kind of don't necessarily go straight. They kind of peak and then they turn down, right?
Yeah.
Do you recommend trying to, I guess, do like a straight line and not follow them? Like kind of skip them? I've done them in other races and it's worked successfully, but I don't know about this course or how far they're apart they are to do that.
Yeah, they're typically these buoys are 100 to 200 yards apart, roughly. It's usually 100 yards apart. But again, the map on the computer is not 100% accurate either. It just depends how they drop them on the day.
Okay.
So like once I saw the red buoy, I would just swim for the red buoy, if that makes sense. The day before, if they have them out, I would see where the buoys are in relation to the pylons and the bridges, because it's easier to see the pylons and the bridges, and I would swim for those. That's way easier. But like I was saying, like if you're a left-hand side breather, I'd park myself inside the buoys. So instead of having to look straight up, you're kind of looking to the side and peeking, and it's a little bit easier. Make sense? The other trick, which you talk about all the time, is as you get to a buoy, right? Almost use that like as in the pool as a reset. So I got to the buoy. All right, I'm going to pick it up a little here. I'm going to reestablish my stroke rate. I'm going to kind of grind just a little bit and settle back in, and just use it as a way to like, am I going fast enough? Am I pushing enough? Do I need to push more? Does my stroke rate need to come up? Use those, and like you do the same thing in the pool. You push off the wall and you're like, okay, go, go, go. And you reestablish, right? Use the buoys the same way. The other thing is when you're approaching turn buoys, especially at the beginning, never swim into a turn buoy at full speed or at full effort level. Because what happens is you get into a turn buoy at full effort level, and then like people slow up or you get kicked or it gets crowded and you can't get out because you're already at full tilt, and then you start to panic. So you want to swim into a buoy controlled. So you're like, oh, I need to get to this spot or push this person off. Now I swim harder and get away. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. Otherwise, just take it wide. Best way to do it. Cool. This is a long stretch from this red buoy to this red buoy. It's at least what, 800 yards, 900 yards. It could be more, right? So just keep on pressing, keep on pressing. Another good trick, if like you really are cognizant and worried about your time and how you're doing, I actually set a 10-minute timer in the water. So every 10 minutes, it just beeps. And what that does, I use that as a way to say, all right, let's reestablish and go faster. Let's reestablish and go faster, just like how you'd use the buoy. It's my own personal thing. You can use it if you'd like. All right. Any other swim questions?
Yeah, just as far as like overall strategy for the total race day, like, you know, like normally individually, this length of swim I could do under 1:05, right? But
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I would scale it back a little bit to keep my heart rate at a lower, to kind of preempt it from accelerating throughout the race.
Yeah. So it really depends where your strength and your comfort is and how much swim strength you have. So if you're like, I'll call it a strength swimmer versus speed swimmer, you can kind of push this as hard as you need to. You don't want to go full tilt, right? Your training should dictate how you go. I always found personally, if I really like lollygag in the swim, I actually never get going later on. And the same thing was true for Potts. So like everyone used to give Andy crap for how fast he swam, like in Kona. But he would say, if I didn't swim fast, I get stuck in crap with people and I didn't want to. And also I would never actually get going. So I would say comfortably hard is the way to go. I'd say time is irrelevant. It's all about perceived effort for something like for a swim in an Ironman. It's all perceived effort. And when you come out of the water, you come out of the water. It is what it is. And like I said, I would kind of like, I always build into my swim. So like if you're looking at the course, it's like stay out of the crap up until that second turn buoy. By the third straightaway buoy, I'm like, all right, I'm on it. And now I'm pressing every buoy and I'm pressing and pressing to the turn. And then once I make that turn, I'm like, all right, let's swim home, and let's swim home fast. And that's kind of how I swim. But I also have really good back end power on the swim. I negative split everything. But that's what you want to think of on the swim. It's the same thing for the bike and the run. You might not negative split, and your energy level might have to come up, but you want to feel like that's what you're doing so that you can press when you need to and build. Build is the name of the game in Ironman. Build effort, because building effort holds speed steady.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, no, that's helpful because in halves, I just go full tilt.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to go full tilt for an hour plus and then get off the bike, get on the bike and ride well. I mean, I'd say, depending on your swimming fitness, you could go full tilt for an hour effort, which is different from full tilt from 100 effort or a 200 effort, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to hop off the bike, right? I mean, out of the swim, and you run on this blue line into transition. Transition is really simple in this race. You run through the tent, you grab your stuff, you go. It's very easy. Nothing really to worry about there, right? When you get on the bike, okay, what I'm going to tell you now is really important, okay? It's probably one of the most important things you're going to hear for this race. No, two things for this race on the bike. Number one, Who knows how many miles it is to the turnaround?
Oh, it's like 14 or 17 or something like that, isn't it?
About 17, 18 miles, 18 we'll say,
Yeah.
roughly. How many miles is it to the Beeline Highway? The part that everyone talks about.
Don't know that.
It's about nine. It's a little under 10 miles. Okay. So everyone talks about Beeline and how they go good on Beeline and blah, 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 right? Half of the race happens in town, so to speak. And a lot of people sit up in town and they don't pedal as hard and they kind of take it easy. That's half of your race. When you're in town, I want you to be aggressive. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hit people, but be aggressive. Okay. A ride with conviction. It shouldn't change. I actually find in town is easier to ride hard because there's a couple turns, you get out of the saddle and you get going. It's a really straightforward ride. You pretty much come out of town heading east. It's a left onto a highway, so you can take it fast, kind of stand up, stretch out if you need to. Little roller. You make a right onto, I think the road's McClellan. I can't see it, but I think that's what it is, which is right here. And then it's a pretty long way. And then it's a left, and then you're kind of on Beeline and kind of going out the whole way. People talk about the climb on Beeline. It's really from about where my mouse is right now. It's probably mile like 17 or so up. It's a steady falls flat the whole way. The climb is nothing. Like if you've climbed anything on your bike, it is nothing. Like it's an aero climb, big ring. Like I'm talking for myself, probably for most of you guys too. I mean, the only reason I get out of the saddle going up that climb is to stretch. Don't slam it, don't smash it, but you can give a little effort because from the turnaround all the way back off Beeline, you'll probably spin out depending on the gears you have. But that doesn't mean don't give the effort and don't keep constant pressure on the pedals, okay? I lost a race one year coming back from Beeline on the downhill because I didn't have enough gears and I couldn't keep pressure on the pedals. Like you want to stay pressure on as best as you can the whole way. The other thing, the second point for the course, it's really important. You have 3 loops, right? First 2 loops, as you're heading out, you might have a headwind, okay? On the 3rd lap, you'll probably have a headwind coming back. You got to check the wind for the day, but that's typically what happens as you get later in the day. So plan for it. One year I was doing this race and I was with the lead group of guys in the age group race when I was racing age group stuff. And I got to here on the last lap and I was averaging about 285 watts going out. Okay. Each time. Well, I was like, oh, I have one more out that's headwind and I get tailwind coming back. I pushed 320 all the way out, turned around. I had another headwind. It took me like 45 minutes to get back. I imploded. And so like, just watch the wind is what I'm telling you. Like, and how do we check for the wind? Who remembers? Best way to check for the wind? Anyone?
Flags.
What?
Flags.
Flags. If you don't have a flag, a very easy thing to do is just stick your hand right on your nose like this. And you'll feel if the wind's coming from here, coming head on, or no wind at all, right? And that's how you know. And then you can gauge that way. Make sense? If you got a visor, it's a little harder. What, Sam?
I think you're lying to us. I don't know about that.
About the wind? Yeah, dude, you can tell which side it's coming from. Or you just put it up higher and you become a shark and you get a fairing. So, yeah, so for the bike course, the 2 main things are watch the wind as you're going out on each lap. So you could gauge your effort because usually you want to push a little harder into the wind, right? Keep power up. And then just the downhills coming back and then realize how much time you spend in town off of the Beeline Highway. I'm really thinking you, Brittany, here, because I know you're going to want to sit up. You better stay on it. I know Kathy's just going to knock people over. So we're good. Like we're totally good. Any other questions on this? For power numbers, if you guys are trying to gauge, you want to be like typical Ironman. It's like 70 to 82%, 75 to 82% of FTP. For all you one-on-one athletes, the number is going to be a little different because I manipulate your FTP. So we can talk about it. But if with all the rides you've been doing, Brittany, Kathy, those like, even Sam, those last like hour of power stuff and late power workout we've been doing, that's probably a good gauge for you of where you're going to want to be. No? Yes? No, Kathy? We'll see. We'll see.
Daniel,
Okay.
question. When you say aggressive in town, where on this map should I be looking?
Yeah. So do you see mile 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So come back to town. You can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
All right. So from like about right here, I'd say this is still like country, rural, but you have turns and stuff. You have a couple turns. So like I'm saying, like, just be aggressive. And then when you get into town here, this is kind of like a cluster because it's like there's a lot of people and this turnaround stinks. All right. So when you're going into this turnaround, be careful. It's a 180-degree turn. There's usually speed bumps because of timing match right before it and right after it. So just be careful going into this. And you have some people that don't know how to make a turn on a bike. So just be smart. Like I tend to go aggressive because I'm a jerk. But I find like just like driving, right? If you're too cautious, you might get yourself into trouble. If you're too aggressive, you get yourself into trouble. You got to find the balance in between. But usually a little more proactive helps. But watch the bumps in there. Okay. But it's really from like when you start making these turns, Brittany, all the way back to town and then back out again.
Okay.
All right.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah. And these roads are wide open. They really are. It's just you have some turns and people sit up and do stuff and they think they're back already. You know.
You mentioned using best bike split. That was going to be my game plan. Do you guys find any issues with it being 3 loops using that?
Not really. I mean, a little because of the wind, but like best bike split usually accounts for it.
Yeah.
Not really. But so here's another thing you should do. When you're doing the race, you're going out here, right? I usually take a split from the start up until I get on to Beeline. And then that's usually a mental split. Oh, I pushed 285 and it was 14 minutes. And then I have a split from here to here. And so I know it and I know the total out, how long it takes me. Oh, the out took me, I don't know, 4 hours, 41 minutes. Okay. Oh, and the back took me 38 at these watts. So I'll take my first real split here. And so I gauge that. And then what I do is I say, all right, next time around, I'm going to try and be that good or better. And coming back, I'm going to try and be that good or better. And I do that 3 times. It's actually, this is one of my favorite courses for that reason. And I would use best bike split and kind of look at the first lap and use that as my, like, how much were they off versus me? And like, am I overriding or not? And go from there. Make sense, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think those splits are really helpful though. And it breaks up the ride into 18-mile rides, right? Or 19-mile rides. You're like 6 by 18 and you're good to go. It's a little less than that, but that's about right. All right. Now the run. Everyone's favorite. I know Kathy and Brittany are going to duel it out for fastest run of the day. Right, girls? Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy, come on.
All right. So if you've done this course before, they changed the run course this year. It's different. Completely different. Kathy, you've done this, right? Yeah, and Brittany, you have too. So you came out of transition, you ran west, right? Well, no, first you ran east, then you ran west, whatever. Okay, so the way it works now is you're going out like 1.75 miles east, yeah. And it's flat. There's a couple times on it where they make you go from the river path up and back down again, and that kind of sucks. But it's like 25 feet, right? And you get a nice down, and that just happens. It's pretty well. It's not shaded, but it's nice. When you turn here, and this course is broken out into like 1.5, 2 mile sections, right? So it's like 1.75 miles out, a little more. You turn, and you come right back to transition, right? And what happens here, and this is different, you're going to go on, like over a tunnel or whatever, not a tunnel, like a ramp to get up to the bridge. And then you run over the bridge that you swam under before. Okay. And normally you were coming from all the way from the west and coming across, right? And running past this, you're going over the bridge. and this is like where the marina is and stuff. And you come down and you're making a right. And from this point right here up until mile 13 and a little bit, like see the 13 and whatever marker, it's uphill. You go under the highway and then it goes uphill. And this hill is not big, but it sucks. Like for whatever reason, it just sucks. What you want to think on hills like this, right? Knee drive. You don't have to lift your legs high. You don't have to really go fast. You want to think about driving your knees up, driving them, drive. Linear plane across. And then when you get to the top, it's like a nice downhill, and you just want to kind of chop your steps and kind of just let it run. Got me? When you get here, we're actually making a left and doing this little out and back on the river path. This is a big parking lot here. You're on the side, like below the highway, and it's all flat. When you make the turn here and have to come back on this little lollipop, it's going to be like a false flat, but it runs pretty fast because it's like a hard cement. From here all the way back to the turn at the bridge on this end. Do you remember this bridge over here? Yeah, it's a false flat the whole way. Again, this is a knee drive section. Okay, knee drive. Get over, and from here, this corner, all the way back to transition is fast as crap. That's turnover. So you're not thinking knee drive, you're thinking turnover, and it's false down the whole way on that cement. You go fast. You don't have to go out to the road anymore and run on that crap over there. You're just running here, and it's only a mile and change back to transition, and then you do it again. It's very hard to negative split a run in an Ironman. It's very rare to see it done. What I would aim for is build effort, okay, and as even split as you can. So if you want to run 3:30, that's 8-minute miles. You're probably going to run 8-minute miles most of the way. You're going to be a little slower here. You're going to be a little slower here, and you're going to be you should be faster this whole section. I would take it, turn around at a time. I got to make the turnaround and back, turn around to one spot, make it back, over the bridge to the hill. Hill is a section. Here's to a section, here to here's a section, and then here back is a section. That's kind of how I break it up and kind of like mentally wrap my head around it. But you got to do what works for you. Some people like take it mile by mile. In terms of nutrition, everyone dialed for nutrition for the race and for the run. Brittany, you dialed? Okay. Doug, you good?
Dialed.
Yeah, I at least in the house, I do super concentrated infinite bottles, and then I take water at stations.
Perfect.
And this is 3 loops, right? So are we going to be going, if we go by special needs, can we access our stuff?
Yes, you can access it anytime you want.
Okay.
And special needs is normally right here.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't see it on the map. Let me see. I think it's still there. I can't really tell though, but it's usually right there around the start of the laps. And usually you can only grab it once though. Like you can't take it and put it back down because they gotta, like, it's hard to grab it again. So I would probably plan on grabbing once, but you can ask that on race day. Sam and I were talking about caffeine the other day. The golden rule for caffeine: once you go caffeine, don't stop. So once you start with the Coke or whatever, you don't stop it. The other thing is, and this is my own trick that I was telling Sam about, you run into a transition area, they have a Coke cup and a Gatorade cup. You dump the Coke into the Gatorade and then you drink it. It helps you get both in, and it also reduces the fizz factor if they don't defizz them completely, and it's easier to drink. And it's easier on your stomach too, to be honest.
It tastes freaking great.
It does. I told you. Listen to that. The law has spoken. So I'd say that's the bulk of this race. This race is awesome. It's probably my favorite one of my favorite ones. Just because I'd say it's a very much a performance-based course, because you can measure yourself all these phases. Like the bike, it's great for measuring out and backs and power efforts. Yeah. Questions?
On the run, so typically on halves, I use like stride, and I just
Yeah.
do it like a target power. Is that still pretty good for a marathon?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
do you use their Ironman pace calculator and power calculator, or do you use their marathon one?
I use the Ironman one, so
Yeah.
I take it down a couple notches.
Yeah, the Ironman, you got to use the triathlon specific calculator, not the marathon one, and it usually works fairly well. If your fitness is where it should be, it should work great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Although, as we know with an Ironman, once stuff goes to shit, it's just what happens, and there's no numbers can help you at that point.
No.
The thing we always talk about are like, small world, small problems. As things get hard, you zero in and you make your world smaller. Okay. Like, I just got to make it to the next aid station, or I just need to get a little bit of drink right now, or my hands clenched too tight. Let me loosen them. How do my hands feel? Like, focus on one little thing, bring your gaze down, and then regroup. The best thing about Ironman, guys, honestly, is you can make mistakes and things can be going crappy for like 70% of the race. But if you have 30% good, you're probably going to have a good day. So like just stay on it and stay positive and keep on like looking for that next little bit of hope, and like thing to hang on to, because if it will come around. Like, I know what most of you guys have done, and I know your training's there and you're ready to roll. So like, just stay on it and just keep on pressing and keep on turning, and it'll come around. It'll be good. So
is anyone planning on wearing arm warmers on the bike at the start or anything else?
I thought about it. In Oceanside, it was a similar temperature when I did a half, and I was going to do that arm warmers there, but I was so bumped after the run, and I was just like, my heart was going. I was like trying to get on the bike. I actually didn't even think about it during the race. Like, I didn't put them on and I didn't even feel the cold. So I don't know, I'm thinking the skip. Just make it simple.
yeah. What's the temp supposed to be?
50s, mid 50s.
Ooh, for the whole day or just in the morning?
No, for the morning. It's going to get up to 80.
Okay.
Mid 80s on the bike.
Yeah, that's a beautiful day. Brittany, I know you get cold. Don't be shy.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, put them on. Thing is, you're gonna be wet anyway, so I don't know how much they're really gonna help. But like, you do what you think is gonna help you. You get cold.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Just don't have things flapping around.
I wore them the first time I did this race. I'm thinking maybe I'll just throw a jacket on and then throw the jacket away if I get hot.
You could totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people have said, like, get some old tube socks, cut out the toes, and just put them on your arms, and then you toss them.
Yeah.
After the first loop.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a good judge for that because I'm always so hot. It doesn't make a difference. Like, I just run hot. So yeah.
Okay.
But you don't want to be shivering. That's a lot of wasted energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what else? Any other questions?
As far as strategy for riding the bike course, I heard, like, don't go on the shoulder because there's a lot of things that could give you flats. I don't know.
It depends year to year. They usually street sweep before the race every year. It just depends on the race. I mean, I would say the biggest thing is just be safe and watch out for other people. I don't know. I actually, Doug, I don't know how fast you ride, so it just depends where you are, like on the course and where people are and things like that.
Usually 21 to 23 mile an hour average.
Yeah, I mean, so you'd be pretty close to the front of the race, so you'll have open road to move over if you need to.
Okay.
But yeah, the pavement's real good out there. The other thing I would say, and Brittany, listen up, please, here, because it's important for you in particular, is you only have a certain amount of energy, right? And concentration and things you can worry about in your life and so on and so forth, right? You should only worry about things you can control this week. And like when you get to the race and people start talking like, oh, the water's cold, or, oh, it's going to be freezing and all these other things. And like, I don't know. who gives a crap? You can't control it. Like, just like whatever comes, comes. It's the old adage I used to say to everyone. I think I said it to most of you guys. Brittany, I told it to you too. My old soccer coach from Jamaica used to say, the ball is round. It's round for everyone. Just go out there and kick it. So like, just go out there. Don't worry about anything else. Training's done. You're just revving the engine all week, getting ready to go. And then like, whatever the weather is, it's what's going to be, what's going to be. How are you going to change it? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about the water temperature. Like, do things that are right. So if the water's really cold, pour a bottle down your wetsuit before you start. Like, take a plastic bottle and just pour it down there. It'll help you like create a seal. It'll make you feel better, and it'll like help with that shock value. If the water's cold, don't do like the crazy dive. Don't dive anyway because the water's really shallow. But like, don't do the crazy run in off of the dock because you're gonna go hypoxic really quick. Go in good and steady. Build your effort. Take more time to build. If the colder the water is, more time to build. Make sense? Cool.
Daniel, how cold was the water in Tahoe?
Oh, it was like 52 degrees, 53 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe it was 58 in one spot. Like, it was cold. That was
Okay.
really cold.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you got more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck. You guys are going to kill it. I am so bummed that I can't be there. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring my 2 kids in tow. And I had no one to watch them. So I'll be yelling at the computer all day for you guys. Pots might be down there. We shall see. I'm working on it right now with them. And I'll let you know. But otherwise, we have that like messenger group, and I'm going to send some stuff out. Like, if you guys want to meet for a swim or like lunch or something, you guys can do that as well. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Look at Patricia. She looks so professional. You look so professional, Patricia. Now she froze. She's like, oh, I better mute this.
I'm actually multitasking. I'm in 2 meetings right now.
Oh,
One for
wow.
work and this one, so it's hard.
Yeah, I get it. You got priorities though. Triathlon's priority.
Depends on who you ask, right? For me, it is, but
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys. Good luck. Kick butt, represent, have fun. Like, I know it sounds so stupid, but like, it's so much fun. Like, I always think back to like when Andy and I would race together, or even like recently when I raced with Brian and we line up on the start line and we look at each other and we just like give ourselves a little fist bump. We're like, dude, it's just another day of training. Like, it's in so many ways, it's so much easier. Like, we've done so much work. This should just be routine and clockwork at this point. And just go have fun, celebrate it. Like, race day is a celebration of like all the work you did, right? Britt, I know you did a lot of work, Britt. Cursing, she did a lot of cursing too. So, all right, gentlemen, ladies, if you have specific questions, you want to go over your race plan, just text me and we can do it. We'll just set up some time to do it. All right. Otherwise, good luck, kick butt, have fun. I'm here if you need me. Let me know. All right. Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Good luck.
Thanks.